Hi, my name is Lindsay. Welcome to yoga for when you don't feel like doing yoga. Today we're working on opening the side body, and for this practice you need a blanket and a set of blocks. We'll begin with the support of the blanket underneath our knees, and we'll leave it there for a little while. So take your blanket and open it until it's about this size, and place it over around the center of your mat, maybe slightly back. And then we're going to start with a child's pose with the knees cushioned with this blanket. So knees come slightly wider than the hips. Your big toes touch, but they don't overlap. Sit bones drop back and down toward the heels. And then the arms, the hands walk forward. Let your head rest on the floor. And if your head is lifted, you can take a block and you can bring it underneath your forehead. It's up to you here if you'd like to have the elbows rest on the floor at first, or if it's a better fit for the arms to extend long, reach long. Let there be a gradual release of the sit bones back and down. Just observe the sensation that's occurring across the back waist, the hips. This is the anchor of the pose. And just notice where the body's giving you feedback. Sometimes a child's pose can even be cranky. Keep your sitting bones dropping back and down. But energize the arms a bit more. So walk the hands forward, lift the elbows up off the ground if they're not already. Press down actively into your hands, and then use that connection to more deeply deliver your sit bones back toward your heels, and so that you experience more distance along the side body from your hips to your hands. Keep that length going. Lift your head up off the ground or your block. You might have to move whatever support is there aside. Pop up onto your fingertips so that your hands are like little spiders. Your seat stays exactly where it is. Start to walk your hands over to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Reach your right hand forward even more. Pin your right sit bone back and down. And you can either keep your chest reaching forward into the space between your thumbs, or you can let your head drop down here, and you can flatten your hands as well. Sometimes it's nice to stack the right hand over the left one, and that brings a deeper opening into the right side body. Notice if the stack of the hands or this asymmetric shape has started to make the right ribs roll up. Can you wrap your right ribs down toward the floor a little so that you're really experiencing the lateral opening? Imagine your breath moving through your right rib cage like an air vent. And then lift your head back up. Separate the hands. Pop back up onto the fingertips and then crawl them through center, center, center. Take them over to the right side. Reach a little extra through the tip of your left pinky finger as you wrap back and down through the left sit bone, the left hip crease. Let your head drop and let the hands drop. This might be enough for you, or stack your left hand on top of the right one. Again, Make note of the left rib cage. Can you roll it down toward the floor a little bit? If you had a bird's eye view of your body, it would be creating the letter C on the left side. One more breath in here. One more breath out. Lift your head back up. Separate the stack of the hands. Come back up to the fingertips. Crawl your way back through center. Come onto your hands and your knees. Lift your hips up slowly with control. Stack the knees underneath the hips. And then bring your hands to your hips. Come to stand upon your shins. Take your left leg out wide. Step your left foot out wide off of your mat. Reach your arms wide like airplane wings. Turn your right palm up toward the ceiling and then take a big swoop side lean over to the left. Press down into the top of your right foot, your right shin. Erase the bend from the right elbow and extend long through your right fingertips. You can be looking forward, or you can turn your eyes up toward the ceiling and look into the crease of that right elbow. As you stack your spine up tall, again, reach your arms wide. Bring your hands to the floor out in front of you. Bring your left knee down to the ground. Step your right foot out wide. Same thing, other side. Bring your hands to your hips. Come up to stand upon your left shin. Check out that your left knee is underneath your left hip. So you're not making the base of support any more challenging than it needs to be. Reach your arms wide. Turn your left palm up. Big side lean over to the right. Your right hand rests on your right leg. Focus on the distance between your left hip point and your left bottom rib. As you stack your spine up tall, reach your arms wide again. Bring your hands down to the floor. Bring your right knee down to the floor. All right, listen. Take your right hand and move it just slightly forward, like an inch or so. And then step your left toes back behind you, tuck them under. We're coming into a supported side plank. Swivel your left heel down to the ground like a warrior two. Aim your right toes behind you so the shin comes behind you too, and then bring your left hand to your left hip. So you're stacking yourself on your side here. Your bottom arm has some external rotation, which means the bicep rolls toward the front short edge of the mat. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Turn your left hand toward the top edge of your mat and stretch your left arm over your head. Keep stepping down into your left foot as you reach away from it with your left hand. Look down to the floor. Bring your left hand down to the ground. Bring your left knee down to the ground. Stack both wrists underneath the shoulders, both knees underneath the hips. We reestablish the base. Let's take a cow pose. Take a deep breath in. And a cat pose. Deep breath out. Just 2 more times like that. Send the lungs forward. Lift the chin up. Inhale. Root into the palms. Lift your belly. Round. Exhale. One more time. Heart forward. Breathe in. Round the spine. Breathe out. Find center. Take the heel of your left hand and walk it just slightly forward. Take your right toes back behind you, tuck them under. Swivel your right heel down to the ground. Aim the left shin behind you like a little fishtail. Right hand comes to the right hip. You stack yourself on your side. Bottom arm has that external rotation. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And you can look forward or you can look up toward your right thumb. Identify the connection of your right foot in the floor. Turn your right palm forward and then reach your right arm up and away from that right foot getting grounded and rooted. Good, breathe in. Breathe out. Eyes down, hands down, knees down to center up, tabletop position. This time, tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up off the ground so you're in a pounce. Don't worry about your blanket. Walk your hands back toward your feet. Fold over your legs at the back of the mat. Your feet are about hip-width distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider. Grab a hold of opposite elbows and let your head go. Bring a little bend to your knees so that the fold is occurring from the hip joint and not from your waist or the back. The muscles of the neck are stubborn, so when you think you've dropped your head, drop it again. Switch the crossing of your forearms, opposite grip. Bring your attention down to your feet and just notice how you're distributing your weight beneath them. The heels stay connected to the floor, but we want our weight to be centered over the arch of the foot. And so you might have to flirt with bringing some balance toward the front portion of the foot there. The bend in the knees can help that occur. And just notice how that brings the opening in the backs of the legs maybe a little higher up. Free up the arms and hands. Tuck your chin into your chest, bend your knees a lot, and then take a real slow round up to stand. And let it be zombie-like, right? So the arms are just like dead weight here. They kind of swing as you start to stand. Spend a little time with each vertebrae on the way up. And as the legs start to get taller and the shoulders stack over the hips, you can lift your chin up. Give the shoulders a shrug and drop them down your back. Inevitably, there's the need to fix your ponytail or your clothes here. But then stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Bring your weight into your right foot. Pick up your left foot for tree pose. This left foot can go on the inside of your right shin. It can come up on the inside of your right thigh. Or you can connect your left heel to your right inner ankle. Gather your hands into a prayer in front of your heart. Let the center of your left buttocks firm in so that your left knee can keep widening. And then you're welcome to keep your hands right here or reach your arms straight up toward the ceiling. Bend just your left elbow and then fit your right hand onto your left elbow tip. So you've got a tricep stretch going and tree legs. Invite the front bottom ribs back into the body. And then listen, keep your arms, bring a little bend into your standing knee. We're gonna go for this curtsy. Unhook your left foot from your right leg, step your left toes behind you and a little to the right, and then lean to the right side here. You can turn your eyes up and to the left. Soft bend in the knees. We've got this like curtsy feet happening, but it's all in an effort to help us access the left side body. Urdhva Hastasana, lift your arms up, step your left foot next to the right, arms by your sides, Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's do that on the other side. Bring the weight into your left foot. Again, you can go right heel, left inner ankle, right foot, left inner shin, or right foot comes all the way up on the left inner thigh. Check out that the toes aren't like wrapping around the leg to hold you in place. Rather, the toes point down toward the floor, the foot presses into the leg presses into the foot, and then the hands collect into a prayer in front of your heart. Can you find the same level of chill here that you can find in a child's pose? Ground down through that standing foot, and then you can lift your arms up if you feel steady, or the hands remain in a prayer there. Bend just the right elbow, fit the left hand on the right elbow tip. The right upper arm bone guides in toward the right ear. Keep your arms, unhook your right foot, curtsy the right toes behind you and a little to the left, so it's off the mat, and take a little side lean over to the left. You can even turn your eyes to the right if you'd like, if that feels good. Step your right foot next to the left, lift both arms up, breathe in. Arms by your sides, and breathe out. Reach the arms out and up, inhale. Arms go wide, let's swan dive forward over the legs on the exhale. You got this blanket here, you can fold it and move it aside. One handful at a time, walk your way out into a plank pose. We're only here for a split second. Tap your knees down, child's pose. Come onto your hands and your knees. Walk your knees forward toward your wrists. Cross at your ankles, have a seat behind your heels, and then take your legs out long in front of you. I'll quarter turn to face you, but you can stay as you are. Take your legs wide. If taking the legs wide causes you to do something like this, a collapse in the chest, then bring a folded blanket, like this one, underneath your sit bones. Works better for me without the blanket, but it might support you. Keep your left leg wide, bend your right knee, and let the right heel come toward the pubic bone. Let the top of the right foot fall toward the floor. Twist to the right. Left hand comes to your right knee, right fingertips to the ground behind you. And now notice if when you turn here, if your left butt bone pops up, or can you drop it down a little bit? I like to lift the right knee up to meet my left hand so I have contact, and I can use that leverage for the rotation. You're welcome to stay here, or reach your right arm up to the sky. Start to take a side lean away from your right knee. That left hand can act as like an anchor for you to lean away from. This is option one. Or you can take Revolve Janu Shirsasana, which is really still Revolve Janu Shirsasana here, but the next step would be to let go of your right knee, bring your left elbow to your left inner thigh, reach for your left inner ankle with your left hand, and then keep stretching over with your right fingertips. And you might be able to grab that foot, or you could keep reaching your right arm. Also cute, you can like support your head with your left hand. Everybody, right arm lifts up. Come on back up to sit. We got a stargazer pose here. Take your right hand to the ground outside of your right hip. Press down to stand on your right shin, lift up your seat, and stretch your left arm up and overhead. Lay your head back. Lower your seat back down to the ground. Take your right leg out wide. Bend your left knee, tuck your left heel in toward your body. Flex up on the right toes and twist over toward the left side. Lift your lower belly, lift your sternum from the bottom to the top. Keep your rotation, stay here, or lift your left arm up to the sky and start to lean over and away from your left sit bone. Relax the right shoulder. It's like your right side seam wants to stack over the top center line of your right leg. Keep this left arm energized instead of letting it be slack. You can stay here, or the next step is to take your right elbow along your right inner thigh. Reach your right hand toward your right inner foot, and you can stay here, just using that right elbow as leverage to take your right ribs under you. There might be the connection hand and foot. Let the space of the left kidneys open up. Everybody, left arm lifts up. Stack up your spine, sit up tall. Left hand comes down to the ground outside of the left hip. Stargazer pose. Stand on the left shin, swivel your right foot to the ground like warrior two. Right arm reaches overhead. Have a seat. Both legs go wide again. Doesn't have to be super wide with these legs. They can even be slightly more narrow. Tense your fingertips behind you and lift up your chest. This might be you. You can stay here or walk your hands forward. Keep your collarbones broad. Walk your hands further forward. Upavishta Konasana. Gotta walk the hands back in, sit up tall. Use your hands to soften your knees and then zip the legs back together, feet to the floor. First option is to take your forearms and wrap them behind your hamstrings. Hug your legs and let your head rest on your thighs or on your knees. Otherwise, hair everywhere. Legs long, arms up. Fold down over your long legs, Paschimottanasana. Wherever you are, lift up your head, look forward. Come all the way up to sit. Find Sukhasana, cross-legged seats. Cross at the center of the shins, let the knees fall down toward the feet. Sit up tall. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And either find some soft focus around the edges of your eyes or let them close shut. Often the hardest part of maintaining a consistent yoga practice is showing up, rolling out the mat, and getting going. And so congratulate yourself for showing up for yourself today. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let your hands meet in a prayer. Thank you for letting me guide you through this practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.